We just spent 24 nights on the same ship, and we have encountered some bad cruisers. Hey everyone, what's up? My name is Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And this is JJ Cruise. Thank you so much for joining us today for the 8 types of bad cruisers that could impact your cruise vacation.
But before we get into it, please hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 30K and you can be a part of the first 30K. It's free to you, means the world to us. And while you're at it, hit that like button.
Now, before we get into the 8 types of bad cruisers, specifically on this cruise that we're on, we want to just preface this with the fact that we are here with some awesome friends and wonderful JJ crew. If we have met you on this cruise, just know these things are not about you. These are about things that we observed from other people that we don't necessarily know, and things that we think are quite, well, rude and make you a bad cruiser.
All it takes is a few bad apples to really make your cruise vacation less enjoyable.
Kicking it off with number 1 here, we're talking about people that don't wash their hands after using the bathroom. Now, this to us is a totally no-brainer. However, I have seen people not wash their hands after using the public bathrooms more than once on the ship. Actually, even more than 10 times.
Oh, it's happening on the daily. Every time I use a public restroom, there is going to be somebody there that does not wash their hands right after using the restroom. This is a no-go.
This is how viruses and sickness and illness spread so quickly on ships. So don't be a bad cruiser and wash your hands, not only after going to the bathroom, but on a regular basis.
This next one is something that we have really realized on this cruise before anywhere else, but we have realized it on other lines as well, on other cruise ships, and that is standing in an open elevator doorway, whether it's on the inside of the elevator or when you just got out and other people are waiting to get in.
This is a sold-out sailing. Of course, there's a lot of people here on the ship. However, we have encountered multiple times an elevator door opening. There'd be 2 people in the elevator and they're standing right at the front and they're not letting us in. This is something that just does not make sense. And in order to assist in the flow of people moving from one area of the ship to the other, please, when you get in an elevator, move to the back. And when it's time to get out, say, "Excuse me, this is my floor."
And when you get out, make sure that you don't stop 1 foot outside the elevator when other people are waiting to get on. That is a bad cruiser move. You can decide later if you need to go left, right, up, down. Hopefully not up or down because you just took the elevator. But you can decide that after you're out of the way of the people moving into the elevator. Don't be a bad cruiser. Please get out of that elevator entryway.
Number 3, we're talking about personal space. Now, again, lots of people on a ship means that you're going to have people in tight places. That does not necessarily give you permission to touch people or sit on people's lap. Yes, I did say sit on people's laps because that has happened a couple of times on this cruise where we go and sit down on a couch. And it's a couch meant for 2, but a third person makes their way over and squeezes in right next to us. It's something that I actually don't understand because it's just something that I would never do myself. But we've seen it happen over and over and over again. Look, if the venue or space is full, come back to the second show or the other concert or the other activity. There's lots of activities on the ship. Don't be someone that squeezes their way into someone else's personal space because it's not always invited.
This next one is, I thought, obvious because this goes anywhere. In life, there are lines for things, and that is well known. I think you just grow up knowing about lines and cues. Not on this cruise ship, whether it's at the buffet or at the hot dog burger stand
Or at guest services.
there will be an obvious line of at least 5 or 6 people. And for some reason, someone feels entitled enough to just cut right in front of everyone and go right to the front of the line. Absolutely wild behavior and very much a bad cruiser behavior, especially when They push you out of the way. That has happened to Jordan. I had to hold my tongue, but it was very hard to do so because you don't lay hands on Jordan so you can cut him in line.
This has actually happened to me twice. Once when I was getting food at the buffet, a second time when I was at guest services, and thankfully the woman at guest services did speak up and say, "Ma'am, you were not the next one in line. You have to get to the back of the line." She, of course, did not take this news well and was very angry, but it is common sense. Lines are there for a reason. Now, in contrast to how lines should work, we have another example that happened on this ship twice that was really confusing to Jared and I. The pool bar outside is a large open bar. For some reason, at a certain time of day, people start forming a line all the way at one end of the bar. This line sometimes will go 10 people deep. Well, yesterday, the bartender said, "Everyone, please just step up to the bar and we'll make your drinks." When people started to do that, the people that were waiting in this long line wrapped around the bar got very, very angry because they felt like they were being cut. Lines are in certain places for a reason, and other times when you're getting a drink at a bar, they shouldn't necessarily exist. And there's something about lines and rules that really do not set well with people on this cruise that we continue to see as a theme and have seen for the last 24 nights.
Who's ever sat in a line at a bar? Please comment below if you have, because this is news to us. This next one is a huge pet peeve of mine, and I think of a lot of other cruisers, so I think this is gonna be something that everyone can relate to. Don't talk during the middle of a show. Yes, you think you're whispering, you're not. Everyone can hear you behind you. We can always hear what you have to say. We don't really care if you hate the show or if you love the show. Be quiet during the show. A lot of times this happens when there's music playing and it's very quiet and all you hear is someone being like, "Lucy, this show is very good." Lucy didn't need to know that right at that moment.
Moving right along, this next one is something that a lot of people don't actually think about, but it's something that we want to raise a little bit of awareness to, and that is using profanities in front of the crew. Something that a lot of people don't remember is that you are in the crew's workspace. The crew comes to work every day to serve you, and using profanities, whether you're joking or yelling or actually being really rude and mean, is never ever okay. You're in their space. They did not sign up to come and hear you swear, and you would not do that in a lot of other places on land. But I think because people maybe imbibe a bit in alcohol or are just having a really good time, it's not something that they think about. But we've deemed this as a bad cruiser move if you're someone that uses a lot of profanities in front of the crew.
Kind of spinning off of that is, don't mistreat the crew. The crew is here to best serve your needs, but that does not entitle you to actually mistreat or use profanity or call them names of any sort, even if it's not profanity. The crew is here as workers, as human beings just like you, and it's the whole golden rule. Be treating them like you would want them to treat you if it was the reverse position. We have seen this so much on this cruise, and it's been so hard. We even had a video that we put out just about a week ago. You can view it up above, or just search on our channel for it as well. But it is a cruising crew nightmare to actually have to deal with passengers that are treating you horribly for something a lot of times they have no fault of at all.
It's actually been really disheartening to see the ways that people on this sailing have treated the crew. It's not something that we understand. The crew have been great. Yes, they are short-staffed on this ship. That is not a secret, and we talked about it in another video, but it is never, ever, ever okay to mistreat a crew member, and this makes you one of the ultimate bad cruisers if you do so.
Of course, I want to reiterate, this is not everyone on the cruise. We have plenty of people that have done so much good for the crew. They've given great tips as well as great compliments and thanks for their service. So this is not everyone. However, The few bad apples really stand out here because everyone can notice when somebody is mistreating the crew.
Last but certainly not least is someone that I think we all know, and that is the ultimate complainer. Now, I'm not talking about someone that just brings up an issue or talks about something bad that happened to them on a ship. I am talking about someone who the only thing they do in any type of conversation is complain about every little thing, from dinner service to their excursion to the types of port they're visiting. The complainer is someone that nobody wants to be around and no one wants to talk to.
Taking this a step further though, of course this is horrible having to deal with on a ship. You never want to be the complainer, because if you are the constant complainer or serial complainer, no one wants to be around you. But we're going to take this a step further and just say no one wants to hear every bad thing that happened to you of your day on roll call pages, whether it be in Facebook or Cruise Critic, wherever it is. People don't care. They really don't care about how much you complain. In fact, they're gonna more likely unfollow you, unfriend you, stay away from you the more you complain. Once again, like Jordan said, it's okay to have an issue and address it or get feedback on one issue, but when it's becoming a daily thing, maybe you just should not be cruising.
To add on to that, we have noticed that a lot on this cruise, and this is with people that we've actually not spoken with, but just overheard in other conversations. I sat down at a table the other day and I heard a lady talk about 25 different things that she had problems with. They were all very, very nitpicky, and ultimately, that lady probably should just go to an all-inclusive resort because it seems like cruising may not be for her. And if cruising isn't for you, that's okay. Make that decision and move on with your life. Don't hang on to the small things that build up and make you a negative person, because nobody likes a negative complainer. And ultimately, we all just want to enjoy our cruise vacation.
So those are our 8 bad cruisers that we've encountered on this cruise. And it's been a long cruise, so we've encountered a lot. However, we know this isn't the end of the list. So please comment below any that you have of bad cruisers that you've encountered or that you've witnessed on board ships or in roll call pages that you absolutely can't stand and have to make your voice be heard about.
We always appreciate the input and making the comments a resource, so let us know. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Add to the list. Let's make this list 100 things long if we need to, but we really appreciate you watching the video today. Thank you so much. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button.
And until next time, see ya!